everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you're well. I want to talk about travel today, and I just got back from a trip to Bali. I was there with 7 women from our 60 and Me community. We had planned this 3 years ago, so it had been changed and rescheduled twice. But we got there and it was beautiful, and I did lots of videos and shared them with you, and the comments were wonderful, and everybody was so, obviously appreciative of the sharing, because a lot of people have never been to Bali, and our journey was incredible. But also I got lots of comments from women who were saying to me, Margaret, this is great, and we're so happy that you're doing this trip, but I can't afford to travel. I cannot afford to go even to the next state if I'm living in the United States. I can't really budget for any travel. Now, one thing that I noticed, and so I want to respond to that. I've got some ideas, because I think that there are things you can do if you've got a travel bug to actually get out into the world and take advantage of local attractions. And so I'm going to tell you some of the ideas that I've got from my own experience, but also to sort of just, reassure you that whenever I go on a trip, I always take you with me in my heart, and I always want to share with you as much as I can. And I hope that you appreciate that and understand it. I don't for a minute feel like that there's anything special about what I do. I just know that I'm privileged to have the opportunity to do these kinds of trips. But for those of you who can't, let's get some ideas here so that you can start letting that, traveler in you out. And travel is sort of an interesting concept, because it doesn't really, to me, matter whether you're going to the next town or down to the local park that you've never been to before, or just exploring something for the first time. Travel is all about newness, and it's about discovery, and I'm just so convinced of that. And if you cannot get a ticket to travel to Bali or Europe if you're in the States, or States if you're in Europe, there are things you can do. Now, the bottom line here, though, is that travel is back. The whole consciousness of travel is back, and people are looking to stay healthy and strong, and they've got kind of mechanisms now. They've got ways to feel that they can do it. It can be done. One thing that I did the other week, I think I mentioned it before, but I decided to go and take some charity items to our recycling center, and so I couldn't carry everything, so I put it in a suitcase. And I was pushing the suitcase down the road to the recycling center. And it was so funny, because I thought, I've got a suitcase in my hand. Let me pretend that I'm going through Lisbon or Porto, or I'm in Spain for the day, and Madrid I'm going to the local sites. And just having a suitcase really in my hand was a positive thing. So, that's a pretty crazy thing to recommend, but just get into the travel mindset. I think that's what I'm saying, is that you can explore, you can be a Marco Polo explorer without leaving your state, leaving even your neighborhood. But there are some things you can do. Now, Jane Dempster Smith is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this article about local attractions that you can take advantage of. If you don't want to live too far from home, or be able to travel distances. And she has some great ideas. Now, she's a traveler. This is her job. She is a traveler. But here's some of the ideas. Group travel is, of course, one thing that many people are approaching now. It's much more popular than I ever remember it being. Road Scholar is one that I actually used to travel with, and also Globus travel. There's, we're planning some things for 60 and Me for later in 23. And, Globus is like a big organization that organizes group travel, and it can be very affordable. So, if you can afford maybe something that's less than, without a single supplement, or that's, less expensive than taking a, $5,000 trip to Greece, there are group travel companies. And if you've got any favorites, by the way, please leave them in the comment section below, because I'm trying to sort of gather a list of good group travel for older women. And there are a lot. Travel Girls, I know, is one, and there's others that are, your favorites. So please share. One thing you can do is to be a tourist in your own town. Now, this is particularly powerful and interesting when you live in a city like London or Edinburgh, or even in the rest of the United States, New York or Chicago, where they have these hop-on, hop-off buses. And I don't know, there's something about a hop-on, hop-off bus that makes me feel like I've arrived when I get to a new place. And I love them. I really, truly do. And I sometimes will buy a pass that's usually good for 2 days. And I'll do it 2 days. I'll do the same trip twice, because you're on a bus, You can go up on the top level. In most places, they're double deckers, and you can actually listen to the audio recording and learn all about the city that you're going through. And it's very, very cool. And so the hop on buses are great ways to go to your own city and to learn about the museums and the history and the parks and you can watch the cafes. I mean, I've actually had some amazing experiences in hop off buses in places where I either live or visit often. Edinburgh, for example, I have family there, so when I go to Edinburgh, I will often just jump on the hop off bus. You can go to one stop to the next, get off, explore, go back. It's very cool. Another thing is city passes. Now, a lot of people, if you're over 60, get free or reduced passes on the buses in your town. And it can be just the local buses, or it can be a whole statewide. And they're very, very good for looking at the city major attractions. You can sometimes get discounts off of museums and restaurants, cafes with that city pass. Do you have a city pass in your area? Maybe you can just share if you do, so we kind of know what cities have them. Now, I'm going to take a sip of my tea here because I've got a bit of a throat today, so I've got my big old cup. I think I've got like a green tea in here today. Twinings, probably. But I just love a cup of tea to get my throat back. So anyway, city passes. City passes will often, as I said, offer these discounts at museums and parks. So if you're a local, you get your pass, and then you get to travel to the cool places in your city that you may never have thought of going by yourself. Wait till a visitor comes and then you say, oh, I'll take you to all the places. And oh, I never had been here. This is a new place to me. So city passes and bus passes, use them. Take advantage of your age. Just ask. Do you take, do you have any discounts for older people? Smile. Half the time the bus driver is just as old as you, so it's not a problem. Just ask. Another thing is to take a walking tour. Now, this is really cool. I don't know about whether Viator is still around, but there were lots of travel companies where you could just hire someone for an hour or two to take you on a walking tour of a city. So you may know your city or think you know your city really well, but you just go on a tour with someone that knows it better than you and can share the secret places. You'd be surprised how many places you've never seen. I did this in Copenhagen once, and it was just the best thing ever. I had this guy who, I forget his name now, Johan, I think, but I wanted to go to Christiania, which is a place in Copenhagen. You would never find it. It's not on the beaten track, but it's a place that, if you live in Copenhagen, you probably know about it, but it's a place that you wouldn't want to walk around by yourself without knowing. And he took me there. I paid him, I think it was $12. It was so reasonable for an hour of his time, and he had fun, and I had a fun time too. So look for those people that do these walking tours, and a lot of towns will do a walking tour as part of their tourist offering. So every other Saturday or sometime they'll just offer it for tourists. Just jump on. You're a tourist. Be a tourist for the day. Another thing is to take a friend with you, or ask that person lots of questions because you're a local too, and ask them where they go to eat. Where is the cheap places for different benefits, and they will help you. If you're local, they'll help you. Another thing is to relive your childhood. Now, if you're one of these people that lives in the same city as where you were born, which is actually getting rarer now every day, but just go back and visit places that that were, as you've been to like 10 years. I haven't been there in 10 years. Haven't been to that place in 2 years. And go there and see how it's changed. See how you've changed. And that's always a great adventure as well. Another thing is to go on Instagram and check your city, and you'll find all the places that Instagram people are going for pictures. At the Pink Door in Notting Hill in London, and some of the places that I wouldn't have even thought of, but they have sought out the exciting places, and you can go there and just be a visitor. Just don't have to participate in the standing in the position they take their pictures, but just enjoy the special place that they've discovered. Sunrise and sunsets. Jane talks about this. I think that's one of the nicest parts of a city. Yesterday I saw a rainbow, and I was with my grandson, and we were just out and about, and we came out. It had been raining and there was the light, and I thought, this is a rainbow day, and we saw it. But sunsets and sunrise, I think if you've got a special place in your city, Even if you've been there before, just go with a thermos of coffee, some biscuits or a sandwich, and just sit down and enjoy it. Sunrises particularly. No one goes out in the sunrise, but they can be amazing. Markets. Markets are a great thing to visit locally. I've always done that myself, but go out with just $5 in your pocket or $2, whatever you can afford. Buy one apple, one orange. Just, be as if you were a new person in the market, a new person visiting. What else? Learn to cook, take a cooking class. When you go to, I think, well, certainly Airbnb does it now, but others too, where you can go online and travel. You can go to a cooking class or to a museum tour or city walk. You can do it online. There's actually a site called Pro Walk, which takes you around cities on walks. So you don't even have to leave your house to be a traveler. I know it's hard, and I feel bad when I travel, and I know that not everyone can do that. So I hope that this has been helpful, and you've got some thoughts about how you can travel in your own hometown, take advantage of local attractions. And if you've got anything to add or any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. And if you like this video, please do me a favor and subscribe if you are not already to our YouTube channel. Check out our website and all our other channels. I'm everywhere. And if you've got any particular comments you'd like to add to this conversation, please do it in the comment section below. I really appreciate that. Okay, everybody, have a super day wherever you are. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Bye-bye for now.